Here we go, it's the mini GP70s, the premier class of the 2019 FAB-Racing British Mini Bikes Championship. So coming into this race, Evan Belford holds a 57-point advantage over the pole sitter Eddie O'Shea, the 114 on the green bike, the Green Missile. And of course, the Maverick himself. James Cook has dropped to fourth position behind Bailey Stuart-Campbell after yesterday's race. Eddie O'Shea taking the race win ahead of Stuart-Campbell. He's now 70 points behind Belford, and James Cook has dropped to 75 points further back behind. Now, the championship could be wrapped up today, but we will have to see what happens in race number 2. Race number 3 will be coming up a little bit later on today, but before that happens, our top 2 from yesterday's race set off with the rest of the grid, and to take you through the grid is myself and Eddie O'Shea. Will be starting from pole position ahead of Bailey Stuart-Campbell. In third position is your championship leader and quickest in warm-up yesterday, Evan Belford on bike number 52, leading off the second row of the grid. And we've got a bit of an incident down at McRae's. Not sure who that is.
Dear.
We've got a couple of them down, but
it looks like we've got one rider that's gone down there.
Yeah, so the red bike of Johnny Garness. So on bike 57, he was fourth yesterday. So that's a bit of a shame that he went down. Maybe just clip that white line, which we saw in the pit bike 140s, was throwing up a lot of issues.
It looks like he's just the left handlebar. He was just having to just get back in position. I don't know if there was any damage, but I believe he's up and going now.
Well, he should have been starting from fifth position on the grid. Fingers crossed he can get back to the grid to lead from the third row of the grid. Next to him will be the 48 of Ollie Walker, James Cook, who is feeling a little bit happier today, feeling more confident going into today's action. Speaking to his dad yesterday, having a bit of an issue in yesterday's race, he will be looking to gain some positions, going from 7th on the grid. Ryan Hitchcock will be next up in 8th, ahead of the first of the Mellors. It's Owen Mellor in 9th, and running at the top 10 is Thomas Gomez. Next up is Alfie Davidson ahead of Dylan Miller, and 13th is Harrison McKay. Harrison Crosby will be in 14th ahead of Carter Brown, Joe Farragher and Jamie Woodcock, rounding out the runners and riders. But keep an eye out on Ryan Hitchcock and Harrison Crosby coming from further down in the grid.
Well, I can tell you that. Well, as you mentioned there, Harrison Crosby and Carl Payne, they need good results today. DNFs for them yesterday. So those two from the outside of row 2 and 4 need good results. It was Eddie O'Shea from Bailey Stuart-Campbell and Evan Belford, Garness, Walker, Cook, Hitchcock, Owen Mellor, Alfie Davidson and Thomas Gomez, your top 10. But very close between the top 4, particularly 2nd to 4th in the championship. Eddie O'Shea, Bailey Stuart-Campbell and James Cook. A change yesterday. Stuart-Campbell going to 3rd, James Cook going to 4th. Let's get ready to go racing then in mini GP70. It's race 2 of round 7 and we are off the way in racing. Eddie O'Shea is going to lead us in towards turn number 1. Bailey Stuart-Campbell just about holding on to 2nd there. Evan Belford will be 3rd place. Carl Payne looks to be in 4th as they go down to McRae's for the first time. It looks like James Cook may have got through to 5th place as we head up to Iredale's. The top 3 appear to be streaking away out front as they tip their way into Iredale's for the first time, all through nice and safely. And Eddie O'Shea, a particularly good start to him. He's already created a bit of a gap over Bailey Stuart-Campbell now as they head down towards St John's. Still slightly tricky conditions for the mini GP70s. Evan Belford applying lots of pressure here to Stuart-Campbell, and he's going to look to the outside as they come through Paddock Bend, trying to get the switchback on Bailey Stuart-Campbell. He'd need to be brave to make a move into turn 1 though. Let's bring you the top 10. It is O'Shea, Stuart-Campbell, Belford, Payne, Hitchcock, Cook, Walker, Owen Mellor, Garness and Davidson.
There's a bit of a gap opening up between O'Shea and Stuart-Campbell as they make their way down to McRae's. I told you to look out for Ryan Hitchcock. The reason I said that is because in the tricky and wet conditions at Wilton Mill, race number 3, he was lapping super fast. 4 seconds a lap quicker than absolutely everyone else. He fell off from the lead, but we've got a change for lead. It's Stuart-Campbell up the inside of O'Shea into Stuart S's very commanding pass late on the brakes and up the inside. I was saying there was a bit of a gap opening up a little bit earlier on in the lap, but it seems to be he has. We've got a move for second now. That's O'Shea dropping back to third. Belford sees that Stuart-Campbell's made a move on O'Shea, so he had to follow him through as quick as possible. So after the first lap, it was O'Shea pulling away, and now he's dropped back to third. So not sure what happened there. Maybe the first and second, Stuart-Campbell and Belford, are just trying out the conditions, and once they've got up to speed, are very happy with it, and they're through to first and second and pulling away. But Hitchcock is now into fourth. He's made up a move on Payne into fourth position now. Watch out for him. He will be lapping as quick as he can to catch. He's too a bit wide from Stuart-Campbell through Iredale's, powering down the straight towards the S. He's nearly side by side, but Belford has to slow it back in 2 seconds. It's all happening early on in this race, Chris.
It is, and I spoke to Evan Belford a couple of days ago, and Evan Belford said to me, despite the fact Stuart-Campbell was fourth in the championship, he appeared to be the one he was most worried about. He said, Stuart-Campbell is closing in on me, and Evan Belford was worried about him more than anyone else, and I think we can see why, because Stuart-Campbell is the one leading the way from Evan Belford, who's just gone quickest, so he is keen to stretch his championship lead and give himself a potential chance to wrap it up later. And down the inside at McRae's, Evan Belford, fantastic move there on Bailey Stuart-Campbell, nipped it down the inside, no contact whatsoever, nothing Stuart-Campbell could do, and Evan Belford gets himself into the race lead on lap number 4, having just set the fastest lap. But there is still a long way to go in this race. There will be 8 laps to go at the end of this one. Eddie O'Shea is about 8/10 back now in third place from our 2 leaders. Then it is Hitchcock and Payne. Much better from them today. The 2 riders that DNF yesterday in 4th and 5th at the moment. Cook, he's feeling a little bit more confident today and a little bit better. He is 6th. Then it is Walker. Owen Mellor, Johnny Gardness, having had that crash on the green flag lap, is 9th, so all seems good for him. Then it is Alfie Davidson from Crosby, Mellor, Gomez, McKay, Farrakher, Jamie Woodcock in 16th place.
3/10 of a second between the top 2. Belford's just opening out the gap ever so slightly. This is going to be great for his championship charges if it stays the way it is. If we were to put the flag out right now, Evan Belford would extend his championship lead back to 66 points ahead of Eddie O'Shea. But saying that, Eddie O'Shea will be coming under pressure from Bailey Stuart-Campbell for second in the championship, which means if it stays the way it is, Evan Belford is well on his way to wrapping up the championship in race number 3 a little bit later on today. But we're speaking too soon. There's only 7.5 laps remaining, and further down the order there's a great battle going on between Owen Mellor and Johnny Garness, who are just tucked up nicely behind the number 48 of Ollie Walker. So that's for 7th, 8th and 9th. Johnny Garness, audacious up the inside into the final turn, makes a move on Owen Mellor. He's up to 8th position now, and after his crash on the green flag lap, he seems to be okay, comfortable with the bike. He backs his handlebar back into position, so that's all good, and he's got, he takes his hand off his handlebar.
Well, I believe from what I could see, Garness was just basically tapping on the back of his bike, saying to Owen Mellor, just tuck in behind me and I'm going to pull you along and get you up the order. So that's why I think Johnny Garness was trying to signal to Owen Mellor just to say, follow me, let's not battle, let's get after Ollie Walker. And well, I don't think he's given Mellor a choice. Garness has already pulled away from him, and he's now lining up a move on Walker. Will he do it into Sunny Bend, I wonder? No. Paddock Bend, he may be close enough to try something. Ollie Walker, though, he's a quick driver. He's won races this year, so he's no pushover. But Johnny Garness, a rising star in the FAB-Racing British Mini Bikes Championship, and Johnny Garness absolutely flying at the moment.
A new fastest lap from Evan Belford that time round, a 49.708. So as the track continues to dry up, the riders are filling the track a little bit more, building up the confidence and going ever faster. But it's only a 4/10 of a second advantage. Garness going for a move on Ollie Walker into Irons. Oh, they nearly touched. That was very close between 7th and 8th position there, but they both stay on. Ollie Walker had to set it up a little bit. Johnny Garness set it up, not sure what was going to happen between his front wheel and Ollie Walker's his knee, but both are safely through. But you can see that Johnny Garness is desperately trying to get ahead of Ollie Walker into 7th place as they make their way round Sunny Bend. Can he make a move into Paddock Bend, which he's done on Mellor a few laps ago? He's trying it, he's not making a stick, he's looking every which way at the moment, and you can tell that he does have the quicker pace out of the two. But Belford is approaching back Marcus to Iredale's and looks over his shoulder to see where Stuart-Campbell is. He's opened up the advantage again with another new fastest lap, a 49.662, so he seems to be eking it out ever so slightly and putting himself in prime position to win this race.
Yep, well, if Evan Belford, in terms of the championship, if he's 76 points ahead, leaving Rowrah, then he will officially be the champion. At the moment, the gap he has over Eddie O'Shea is 57. He'd extend that by another 9 points if the race ends as it is. So it would go from 57 points to 66 points. That would give him a genuine chance to become champion at race 3 later on. So Evan Belford is doing everything right so far. He's taking the pressure off himself and putting it on the other riders around him, in the likes of Eddie O'Shea, James Cook and Bailey Stuart-Campbell. So this is fantastic riding from Evan Belford. Looking at Ryan Hitchcock, he's currently 6th in the standings at the moment, and he's been very consistent so far this season. His best score so far was 36, and he scored 36 points on 3 different occasions now.
Johnny Garness heading down towards Stuart Essex is sitting up with his left hand off the handlebar. Maybe he picked up an injury after he fell off during the green flag lap, and maybe he's just trying to rest it. Not too sure what's happening with the number 57 of Johnny Garness, but fingers crossed he can finish off this race and pick up some important points. And I can't imagine he's getting any arm pump in these mini GP50s, but then again, he is a bit of a smaller rider compared to the rest of them, and he's got to hustle these big Metro Kit mini GP50s around this very technical and tough racetrack.
To give you an idea of how quick Evan Belford is, as that looks like that might have been James Cook trying to make a move. James Cook, as they went down to the first hairpin, trying to make a move on Carl Payne, couldn't quite do it. But Evan Belford last time around did a 49.8. Eddie O'Shea did a 52.2. That is how fast Evan Belford is going at the moment. It looks to be getting close in the battle for 5th place though. Kyle Payne coming under severe pressure from James Cook and Ollie Walker. We're going into the final 2 laps of the race now, and Kyle Payne in 5th place under a lot of pressure now. James Cook trying to get up the inside as they come through Paddock Bed. Which one of these 3, if any, could finish in 5th as they come through the first corner? They've caught a back marker there, and almost Kyle Payne was caught out. James Cook not quite able to capitalise as they come down towards McRae's for the penultimate time. Ollie Walker sat in behind as well. He could grab 2 positions at the end of this race as they go up to Iredale's. Evan Belford still with a 1.5 second lead. This the main battle on track we are talking about. It is the battle for 5th place between Payne, Cook and Walker. They come through the S's, and there'll be just 1 lap to go as Evan Belford comes across the line.
The number 52, Evan Belford, if it stays the way it is, will be extending his championship lead to 66 points, and only Eddie O'Shea will be able to stop him from winning the championship in 2019. Both Bailey Stuart-Campbell and James Cook will drop out of contention if it stays the way it is at the end of this race. Powering down towards the Stuart Essex comes your championship leader, commanding lead, 2.1 seconds ahead of Bailey Stuart-Campbell. Eddie O'Shea a further 12.7 seconds behind the pair. Few more corners to go into Sunny Bend through the left. Flick the bike back up as you head towards Paddock Bend, the double right-hander to end this lap. Your championship leader, the number 52, Evan Belford, stands up, waves the checkered flag, and of course takes the race to win and extends his championship lead over Eddie O'Shea to 66 points going into race number 3 today. Rounding out the top 2 is Bailey Stuart-Campbell on bike number 99, finishing 2.8 seconds behind your race leader and championship leader. Eddie O'Shea completes the podium in 3rd, 16 seconds behind Evan Belford. A very close finish between 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th, just behind Ryan Hitchcock, who finished in 4th. So Kyle Payne managed to hold off that gaggle of riders. James Cook slotted into 6th, couldn't find a way past Kyle Payne. Ollie Walker put a valiant effort in the later stages of the race to catch the the number 25 and 44 of Payne and Cook. Johnny Garnes had a few issues with his left arm during that race, not sure what happened there, but he managed to finish 8th ahead of Harrison Crosby and Owen Mellor, who rounded out the top 10. Alfie Davidson in 8th spot ahead of Thomas Gomez, Dylan Mellor in 13th ahead of Harrison McKay, Joe Farragher in 15th, and missing out just very close on the top 15 was Jamie Woodcock, but Evan Belford feels the pressure coming off him with every race win, and as he pulls his way into the paddock, he must know that he stands a very strong chance of wrapping up the championship later on today if he wins the race in race number 3 and Eddie O'Shea finishes in 3rd or below. Then Evan Belford is your series champion for 2019.